What if Deku was Iron Man Part 1? So, as you can see, I have a thumbnail for this one. Now, I did not make this thumbnail. It was actually made by Headhunter Edits. I will link his channel in the comments. Go check him out. He makes pretty good edits. I'm not gonna lie. But wow, fucking shit. Okay, I was thinking. So, I'm gonna do some things to make it easier for me. Now, if you don't like it, that's your opinion. But yeah. Basically, we start off, and I think it was pre-K or some shit, and Deku and them are playing outside, and that's when Bakugo's showing off his quirk and shit. And Deku just mind his business, and that's when he starts to hear this voice in his head. Right. First, he looks around, sees no one's talking to him, and he hears it again. And he actually says, "Hello?" And that's when he hears like this robotic-like voice just say, "Hello, sir." If you can't tell, look, I was contemplating should I do this or not. I just want to do this for shits and giggles. Also, I'm containing this just to my hero. So basically, Jarvis does exist as part of Deku's quirk. Because, hey, you know how the Tokoyami has Dark Shadow? It can be like that, but it's dead in his head. And it can actually speak. So, yeah, basically, the voice introduces himself as Jarvis. And Deku asks, "Well, how are you in my head?" And Jarvis says, "I'm your quirk." And yeah, they start talking a little bit. That's Bakugo noticing, hey, Deku's talking to nobody. He's like, to everyone else, he's talking to himself. Right. So he goes over there, like, look at Deku. Look at the quirkless loser talking to himself. Trying to make fake friends. He looks at Bakugo. And he's just like, what do you mean trying to make fake friends? I have friends. He's like, yeah, like who? And that's when everyone, like all the Bakugo's fucking lackeys and him start making fun of Deku and he's saying he won't amount to anything because he's quirkless, or it's sad that he's talking to himself to try and make an imaginary friend because no one want to be friends with a quirkless loser like him. Yeah. So basically, Deku basically puts his arms up, and basically, cause Bakugo launched like a little explosion at Deku. Deku put his arms up, and that's when Deku hears like this little, it's like this little like whining sound, and he sees Bakugo get launched back, and Deku he sees like a red and yellow, like it looks like metal on his arm. First he's like, what the heck? And then he sees there's a little pocket and it's smoking. So basically what happened was Bakugo was going to hit Deku with a damn explosion. And Deku pretty much blasted him. Well, he ain't hurt him, but like it was a weak blast. Like to the point where like it incapacitates you and it doesn't actually burn a hole through your chest. Cause that would be bad for a 4-year-old to burn a hole through another 4-year-old. That is not ideal. So basically, that's when teacher comes like, "What happened here? What did you do?" And he looks at Deku and basically sees Deku have like a little like armor on his arm and sees a little smoking hole. Like, did you just shoot him? Like, and Deku's like, it was an accident. I didn't mean to. He was gonna hit me. And that's when she sends Deku to the principal office and Bakugo to the nurse. And basically, the principal said a joke. Like, basically, the principal called Deku's mom, tell her what happened. Inko comes, and basically, she learns what happened. Basically, his quirk manifested. And he was basically, they checked the security cameras and saw Bakugo was about to hit him in the explosion. Technical self-defense. Now, they saw Egg was stressful. And plus, when you just awaken your quirk, you don't have control over that, really. So they don't punish him. They more or less punish Bakugo for bullying and trying to hurt a student purposely. But yeah, basically they go to the doctor, and basically they're running tests, right? They're doing blood test stuff. When they tried to do a blood test, there was like this little pocket. It's like this little, I would say, like it's like the size of a fist form where they're trying to put a needle in, right? And they can't hurt him. It's like pretty much like a safety measure. It's like he can't, like you can't hurt him without the damn nanites appearing. So basically, let me explain. Basically, Deku's quirk is going to be like Mark 50. You don't know what that is? Basically, the suit in Infinity War or the suit in Endgame. It's basically like nanotech. So Tony can basically make the suit appear out of nowhere, right? Like it can be in his jacket or in his arc reactor, and it just appears out of nowhere. He can form different types of weapons or tools, and yeah, also he can. It's really good. Also, it's actually sealed, like it's sealed up too. So basically, you know how in the Civil War, also this is not a spoiler for like a couple years old movie. Basically, and if you don't hear this, man, just skip. Basically, in Civil War, Ant-Man was able to go under like the little pockets in Tony's armor, and they would shut down his suit temporarily. So basically, with the nanites, there's no pocket. Like it's a sealed unit. And basically, you may be asking, wait, how does he breathe? It's a sealed unit. It's like has ventilation somehow. I don't know. It just somehow like he gets air through it. But yeah, basically, he has nanites in this. It's not gonna be. Also, he is smart. He's gonna be very fucking smart. Cause hey, he got a literal computer in his brain. How are you not gonna be smart? Cause you can just get like private lessons from a computer that knows pretty much everything and anything. So yeah, basically, I thought in bed, so I need to get a chair. I said it before. Right. So basically, they run a test and they find out that he actually like his body pretty much just makes nanites, like nanotech, and it pretty much forms into stuff. Now Deku doesn't tell him about the voice in his head, because then they'll think he's. Because Deku just don't tell him for some. I don't know. Imagine a reason. But yeah, basically they call his quirk Nano. And yeah, basically a couple years pass and they're in middle school. Now, pretty much, nigga, if my bed can stop. Oh, my bed keeps squeaking. Basically, let me think. Yeah, basically they're in middle school, and the teacher comes in and he says, thank you all for filling out your career forms. And yeah, I would like to go over them. I mean, he throws paper in here and be like, hey, there's no point going over all you want to be heroes. And Neku just writing his notebook. And pretty much he's just writing, he's writing like things that he can do for his quirk. Like stuff he can make and stuff. And also he's writing some hero stuff. So basically, the teacher says, we have two students trying to go to UA. We have Bakugo Katsuki and Nezuko Midoriya. Right? And Bakugo, when he hears that, hey, two people was trying to go to UA, he first jumps up like, which one of you rejects trying to challenge me? And he hears Nezuko Midoriya, he's like, that loser, that useless idiot. And she looks at Deku. And Deku looks at him. And they got in a staring match. And Deku's face is, try me. And that's basically his face. So basically, Bakugo says, we're going to do this after school, right? So basically, Tinder tells him, no, you ain't doing anything after school. You're going home. I'm not trying to deal with this today. The constant bickering is annoying. You've done this the entire year. It's the last day of school. Let's just make it a peace day. So yeah, they sit down, they finish class, they head out. And that's when Deku turns the corner to leave, and that's when he feels an arm on his shoulder, and it basically yanks him back. Now, when Bakugo touched him, pretty much Deku turns around and sees Bakugo and his lackeys, and basically Deku's like, you want to do this right here? It's like, yeah. So then, pretty much, Deku drops his stuff, and basically, they see this little red and yellow hole. Like it's like a piece of armor, but it's like there's a hole in it, forming his chest. And that's when they see Bakugo get sent through a wall. And basically that one Deku hit him with a unibeam. It didn't kill him. It did hurt. It just didn't kill him. And he's like, how does a unibeam not like, bro? Technically Deku can regulate the power output of basically his attacks. So and Deku basically looks at the lackeys and like, you want to go next? And one of them like dude like stretch his fingers, basically tries to slap him in the face with his fingers, and Deku just dodges, and then makes his fist like his whole arm just becomes armor, and he punches this dude square in the jaw, and he's out for count. The other like the dude with the wings, he's like, I'm good, and he goes and drags the two of them to the nurse, and Deku just leaves. He just walks out. He's walking down the underpass, right? And that's when Deku can hear this sloshing under him. So basically, he makes a helmet and basically can see the damn sludge villain running to the sewer thing. So Deku's like, running through the sewers. We have money. And he noticed someone was chasing him. And he's like, this had to be two or one things. So basically, Deku he kind of takes off the time to keep walking. That's when the sludge villain erupts through there. And then says, I need your body, kid. I'm on the run. And basically, Deku's like, he just makes his entire arm into armor and just freezes him. He literally froze him. Because if you don't know, there's a thing called the Zero Cannon that the Mark 50 has. Basically, it's like liquid nitrogen capsules. So, yeah, he just froze the sludge villain. Sludge villain ain't dead. He'll fall out in a couple hours. But that's when Deku just, like, makes his legs in the armor and just flies away. Because he just, like, I'm not trying to have that happen again. I'm just going to go home and study and stuff and train. So, yeah, Deku goes home. Shit, man, I fucked up my arm. I'm an old soft out. This ain't fun. So, Deku basically during the 10 months, Deku's just training and stuff. Basically, Deku left a little note. Yeah, I don't know if I want to get to get Bakugo a fighting chance. I have to give him fucking one for all, but I don't want to because Bakugo's just fucking annoying. I don't know what I could do. If Deku had one for all, what would he do with it? Like, how would that help his quirk? Like, what, he could make more nanites? Or be stronger than he already is when he's pretty much like, I don't know. So, yeah. Basically, 10 months passed, and while during 10 months he was training, and he was basically talking to Jarvis. And Jarvis basically told him everything he can make. Pretty much everything else he can make. Now, pretty much he basically tells him that whatever you make is pretty much from your imagination. So, whatever you can imagine, actually, basically, he can make a damn air cannon. He can just do anything he imagines. To an extent. Like, it can't be something crazy. It has to be, like, actually tangible. Like the normal stuff he has. So, yeah, basically, it's time for the, what's it called? The entrance exam. And I drew a blank. So, basically, Deku is walking in. And that's when he knows Bakugo. And Bakugo noticed him, and he just keep walking. Like Deku can tell he's pissed because basically Jarvis scans Bakugo and can tell that his heart rate is elevated. All the stuff that basically can tell when someone's mad is just showing. So basically they can tell this man is pissed off, but he knows he can't do nothing. So yeah. Basically, the written portion of the exam happens, and Deku gets first place on that. Like, I don't care. It can, like, even for the I'm pretty sure the recommendation exams. I do not know if they had a written portion, but if they did, Deku still placed number one in both. So yeah, and he actually finishes early. Like, it took him like, I mean, it took him like 6 minutes to finish when everyone else took like an hour to finish. And President Mike like, are you like, did you just guess random? And Deku's like, don't you got an answer key or something? Like, look at it. And the President looks at it, look at the answer key. It's like, how did you, what? And yeah, he basically told Deku just to wait in the next room, and he tells him to wait till everyone else is done, and then he'll explain the practical portion of the exam. Deku just goes there, and yeah, like an hour passes, and people start coming in, and they see Deku, and they're like, how did he get here so fast? So then President Mike is basically explaining the practical. And basically, Deku is talking to Jarvis, and he's kind of doing it quietly, so no one can really hear him, so you don't disturb anybody. That's when Ida turns in like, you over there, can you stop mumbling to yourself? And Deku's like, huh? And they say, you're distracting everyone here. And Deku's like, no one else heard me, and no one else has a problem with it. If anything, you're the one distracting people by shouting at me from 2 rows down, bro. And basically, Ida's like, do not try and deflect the blame and stuff. That's when President Mike tells Ida to be quiet. He's in the middle of talking. And he's like, but sir, and President Mike tells him to shut up. And he does that. And yeah, basically President Mike finishes, tell everyone to go outside. Goes down to the fucking the waiting area for the thing to start. And when they're in the waiting area, Deku's like, do I want to? And nigga's like, is it really cheating if I kind of make a suit of armor that can shoot lasers and rockets and stuff? And nigga's like, nah, it's part of my quirk. I'm not really cheating. And plus, like, they do have a file, so that if they have a question, look at my file and they'll see it's quirk. So yeah, basically, Deku's outside waiting, and that's when he notices Ochako is nervous. And he goes to try and walk over there to go cheer up, right? And that's when Ida come out, like, I will not let you distract that girl. And Deku's like, what do you mean distract? Can't you see she's nervous? I was going to go cheer up. And basically Ida says, you're lying, you were going to try and mess with her. And Deku's like, what type of person do you think I am? That's when Ida starts rambling on about some dumb stuff. And Deku's like, oh, okay, I'm not interested in this. And basically, he pretty much grabs Ida's shirt and he kind of just, like, not really tosses him, but it's like he kind of pushes him. And he sends Ida on his butt. And he's talking to Ochako, and Ochako is actually more confident in herself now. So basically, it starts, and that's when everyone's running, and that's when they just hear like it sounds like it's like whining. It's like machinery whining, right? And then they just see this person in red and red and yellowish orange, and a little bit of blue fly past them, and like, was that a pro hero or something? And that's what I look back and see Deku is completely gone. They can't see him. It's like, hey, is that kid? And Deku's just going through destroying robots. Like, he's cutting some in half with a laser. He's launching a little bit of mini rockets. And it's just taking out robots. And that's when the 0-pointer comes, right? And Deku is like, I can probably beat that thing. Yeah. And yeah, he thinks to himself. That's when he hears Ochako scream for help. And Deku basically notices that she's about to get crushed by the 0-pointer. And Deku just rockets over there and like, picks up the rock and throws at the 0-pointer's face. Right? As he proceeds to fly as he proceeds to fly Ochako out of there. And then basically he puts his arms together and it kind of makes this giant cannon. And he blasts the 0-pointer. and it's this full, and it's like a full power blast, and basically there's this giant, I mean gigantic, like boulder, like mountain sized hole in the zero pointers up. It's like the his entire, like the zero pointer's entire upper body is just gone. It's gone. No competition. It's gone. So basically, I think I'm gonna do another hour video. I'm just gonna finish at the USJ. Like it. So basically, Aaron leaves, and Deku basically gives the exception message, and he goes to UA next day, and I mean 1A, and he walks in, and Deku basically can hear through the wall all Bakugo and Ida arguing. So he walks in, notice like I was sitting behind the desk, and he says, "That must be the teacher, since that's the only adult in the room." So basically, Deku just sits down. That's when Choco comes in, and they start thanking him for saving her, and they start talking a little bit. That's when they hear like this raspy voice, like it's not like a morning voice. They say, "Everyone be quiet. You came here to be heroes, not to make friends." And yeah. Hold on, give me a minute. Okay, so basically, you might hear some background noise. I'm gonna try and be a little bit louder, but that's my air conditioning. I kind of have to keep that on, so fucking bugs and shit don't come in. But they can crawl through the fucking air conditioner if it's not on. Also, it's hot in my room. So basically, Isabis tells them to be quiet. You came here to be heroes, not to make friends. And yeah, he basically gets out of the sleeping bag. He says, "Aaron, go outside. We're going to do a quirk apprehension test." And that's when Choco's like, "What about orientation?" And he says, "Orientation is useless. You just skip it." Yeah, that just gets up, goes outside. Yeah, pretty much for the grip strength, Deku like makes a gauntlet, and he just like he squeezes the damn measure, right, and let's say the pound was about, let me give a good estimate, about say like 5,000 pounds, right? And as I was like, wait, is that a quirk or support item? They said Deku said that it's a quirk. And Deku just like basically makes the gauntlet vanish, and actually they can see like the stuff going to Deku's skin. And they're like, okay, guess this man is a full-fledged robot. So everything else Deku kind of aces. The long jump, he does that good too. And now it's time for the ball throw. Now the ball throw, basically, as always says, Deku gonna be first, and he got first place. And Bakugo's like, wait, that loser got first place? What? And basically said he must have cheated or something. And Deku's like, I'm sorry that I'm good, but just because I'm good don't mean I'm cheating. And that's when Bakugo calls him a loser. And he says, you will never be good, and stuff. You'll never be better than me. And Deku just tell Bakugo to shut up. That's when Bakugo like charges Deku, and Deku just makes a little launcher on his wrist, and he just launches like these two little bands, right? And they wrap around Bakugo's arms, and pretty much they just make it so that he can't move his legs or hands. And Deku just puts one around his mouth so he can't talk. And Deku basically finally peace and quiet. So basically, Aizawa tells Deku to throw the ball, and Deku pretty much makes like a little cannon, right, in his arm, and he puts the ball in there, and then he points it up and he fires. That ball went about, let me think. That ball went about 9,000, like about 9,000 meters, and it was like, huh? So basically, everyone else does it, and no one gets expelled because I don't honestly care. I don't want to expel nobody. I just don't care. Oh, it's time for the hero versus the list. Now, a little while later, All Might comes in because I am here, and everyone starts going crazy like, oh my god, it's All Might. And Deku's not really going crazy. But he's kind of surprised. Like you know, he's surprised he did hear that that All Might is in or like was teaching at 1A. I mean, not in 1A, UA. So basically, he said, "Errol, get all your hero costumes. We're doing an activity." And basically, everyone like all the briefcases and stuff slide out, and that's when they notice. Let me check how many. I don't know. Let's say there was like 22 people in 1A, right, or a certain number. But they notice that there's one missing, and they check and they see everyone's present. And that's Dick's like, oh yeah, I don't have a hero costume. I kind of just make one myself. And I was like, what do you mean you make one? And basically, Deku just makes this full suit of armor, and it just looks like the Mark 50 suit, and almost like, damn. So basically, they go outside, and basically, he draws the names, and the teams are Bakugo and Ida, are villains. Deku and Ochako are the heroes, and they're the first ones to go against each other. Basically, it says the villains have 5 minutes to hide the bomb, prepare, and yeah, the 5 minutes are up. And Deku pretty much just like his visor lets him see heat, right? And you see that you see his signature that's emitting a lot of heat rocketing down the stairs, and he sees one person at the top floor. It looks like they're guarding something. So that's like he tells the chocolate, "Hey, the bomb's from the top floor," and she's like, "How do you know?" And it says, "I can see it." Like, what do you mean you can see it? I can see thermal. And also, there's someone coming downstairs. So as they're walking in, Deku tells her to back up a little bit, and that's when Bakugo comes around the corner and basically blasts Deku with like a full power explosion. Keep in mind, he has one for all. So basically, the wall behind Deku pretty much just got obliterated, right? And that's when smoke clears, and that's when Bakugo, like, thinking he got him, like, he just feels this cold, hard hand go around his face. And that's when Deku just steps out the smoke, and then he just throws Bakugo, and Bakugo hits the wall, and that's when Deku hit him with an air cannon, and he sends him through the wall, and he hits his head on the other wall, and he gets knocked out, and he ties him up, and it keeps going. Basically, what happened was when Bakugo hit Deku with the explosion, Deku basically activated the clamps in his feet, and he clamped down into the ground so he wouldn't move. So, yeah, basically, they're going upstairs, and that's when Ida is mumbling to himself, basically, "How you have arrived here, heroes?" And Deku's like, "This a play? This a skit? What the heck?" I mean, it says, "You will not defeat me because I am the master of villainy," and all that stuff, right? And Deku's like, "Yeah, sure." So basically, Deku pretty much just flies by Ida before Ida can even see it. Deku's right beside him, and pretty much just hit, just like basically launch two bracelets and basically pins Ida to the wall. Right? That's when you just touch the bomb, hero team wins. That simple. That easy. So now it's time for the USJ. Now this is gonna be fun. And this is what I'm gonna end it off at. So basically, this is what happens. The what's it called? They're on the bus. And that's when Sue's they saying how like so many people like some people in here are actually really strong. They said Deku's so far the strongest. That's when Bakugo like that loser ain't stronger than me. And Deku's like, wanna bet? And that's when they just like Deku looks at Bakugo and Bakugo looks at Deku. And Bakugo just shuts up, but you can tell he is mad. So basically they get to the USJ. That's when 13 greets him. And basically says, "Welcome to USJ. This is a training ground where you can do some rescue scenarios, combat scenarios, and everything." And Deku basically says, question. As they're walking in, Deku says, is that supposed to be there in the middle?" And that's when they look and see this little purple portal open. They see a bunch of people start stepping out. And that's when Kirishima like, well, they got fake villains and everything. This place is cool. That's when Deku's like, I don't think those are fake villains. That's why it's always to do the real villains were under attack. And it tells 13 to call backup, right? And basically they try to get everyone out, and that's when Kyoto Giri That's what Kyoto basically teleports everyone to the different sections. Now, just like in the canon, Deku and Mineta and Sue, they teleported to the water zone, right? And Deku's in the water, and that's when the shark dudes come. And basically says, sorry kid, but you gotta die. And he goes to bite Deku on the neck, and that's when he just breaks his teeth. And Deku's like, is that it? Like, you didn't even scratch me. And that's when Deku grabs him by the throat and pretty much just throws him down to the sea floor and just blasts him with a repulsor. With a repulsor blast, right? He don't kill him, but he does knock him out. And that's when everyone else coming. Deku's like, that's a little too many people. So that's when he just flies out the water and he sees Sue and Mineta on the boat. And Deku's like, okay, here's the plan. I'm gonna knock out everybody and I'll fly you to the middle. And she's like, how you gonna knock out everybody? And I basically like this. And that's when these little that's when these little holes open up in his back, and they just see like these little mini rockets come down and go in the water, and they just see like little explosions, and they just see all of the villains are just unconscious, and they're like, "Did you kill him?" And Deku's like, "No, it wasn't a lethal rocket." As Deku just picks him up and flies him to the middle. And basically Deku sees Aizawa getting his head bashed into the ground by the Nomu. And that's when Deku pretty much comes out of nowhere at like rocket-like speeds and punches the Nomu in the face. Right? And that's when Shigaraki's like, who are you, brat? And Deku basically says, hey, sorry, but you're kind of beating up my teacher and I can't have that happen. So, you gotta... Here's your option. You can either go, or you can go to jail. And that's when Shigaraki tells Nomu to kill that kid. And basically, Deku can tell the Nomu is insanely strong. So basically, he clamps down to the ground and puts up the little nano shield, right? And that shield is tough. And that's when the Nomu hits the shield and basically just breaks the shield, right? And basically punches Deku and sends him flying a little bit. And Deku's mind, he's like, okay, he is strong. And that's when Deku, like, flips around. Right, also before this, he basically, Shigaraki told him that the Nomu had shock absorption, regeneration, and stuff. And Deku could tell that thing's not human because it has multiple quirks. And also how it's fighting, it's like a drone. So Deku's like, it's self-defense, and it's not really human. More or less an animal. So that's when Deku just pretty much, as he's still flying, right? Like he got knocked back. He flips around because he's midair, and this rockets at the Nomu, and he makes this little sword out of his arm, and he just cuts the Nomu's head off. And yeah, basically Nomu's body falls to the ground. That's when the Nomu is still kind of alive, right? And Deku just blasts the head. And Shigaraki's like, you cheated. And Deku's like, what, is this supposed to be a game or something? How sick are you? And that's when Shigaraki tries to, basically kill Deku. Deku just dodges and breaks his arm. And basically grabs him by the back of the shirt and just throws him. And that's when Kotogiri catches him and he teleports him away. And Deku's like, yeah, we're gonna see them again. I bet it, because he's probably mad that he can't use his arm for like a month or two. Yeah, basically Deku removes his helmet and sees Aizawa is bleeding and stuff. So basically Deku used, there was this thing Tony could do where he could do like this healing spray. It kind of cauterizes wounds, it seals wounds so he stop bleeding. Deku pretty much just basically stops, basically kind of heals Aizawa, but at least he just stopped the bleeding so he wouldn't bleed out. Damn, I know. And also, Ida already went and got the heroes. So by the time everything was done, and Deku just carrying up the stairs, and that's when all the heroes come in and notice, hey, all the villains are done. Because after Deku cut off the head of the Nomu and Shigaraki got away, the villain was still there. And they tried to fight Deku. And Deku just makes a couple of rockets and they're just like concussion missiles. They just knock them out. And everyone's on the ground. Deku just carrying Aizawa. And they're like, I guess we weren't needed then. So yeah. I know I skipped over something. It was the damn lunch thing where they had the press and everything. So I'm gonna go over that real quick. Basically what happened was they were eating And that's when the alarm bell happened. And Deku looked outside and saw it was the press. And everyone's panicking. That's when Deku just like launches this little ball at the bell, and it makes this loud ass ring. And this Deku says, "Look outside. It's the press. The press being stupid and basically wanting to get the scoop on you way. So calm down. You're not in danger." Everyone just calms down. And yeah, that's the end of this. This was what if Deku was Iron Man Part 1. Yeah, as I said again, the thumbnail of this video was made by Headhunter Edits. Go check them out in the description. Goodbye.